Welcome to your Daily Dose. My name is Robert, and I'm here with my old pal Greg Richer. And we were just talking and leading into this right now with the social aspect of Parkinson's. And Greg, one thing I heard you say is you really enjoy running into people with Parkinson's, that you find pieces of yourself and maybe new things to learn in meeting others. Tell me about what it means to be social and maybe some of the challenges that either you or you've seen others experience with the social side of Parkinson's.
Well, I think from the perspective of being social, I would say I'm a half introvert, half extrovert kind of guy. Once I have something in common with you, I'm a big extrovert. But if I don't, you can go ahead and keep talking and I'll just sit in the back and listen kind of a thing. But
I've not experienced that guy.
yeah, I was gonna say. But I think that one of the real keys to me is the socialization in Parkinson's. In your book, Acceptance, which I'm reading from the All In conference, very good. The what you talk about, the Parkinson's prism, is so true that we either go to prison because we put ourselves there because we're comparing the old Greg to the new Greg, and it's never going to compare too well. Or other people put us in there in prison because of stigmas or their attitude. And they think, oh, well, the guy's got Parkinson's. So, okay, great. Now that Greg's done talking, let's move on. And so I find it very rewarding personally to talk with people and get kind of a feel for how they're doing. He's had it for 3 years, and he is, uh, I think he may have some genetic predisposition to it because when
Now,
I
when you
mentioned
say
that to him,
are you talking about the guy you met this morning that we were talking about?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
so just so our listeners know, because they weren't in on that,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
yeah, you met someone just this morning. You said you were laying out because you're an author as well. You're working on your second book, I believe. Is that correct?
That's
And
correct.
we'll link up your first book so below so people can check it out. And you mentioned meeting this guy, and one of the kind of curiosities about meeting him was at relatively early stage, 3 years in, he's already had DBS, and that made you go, "Wow, that seems early."
Yeah, that does. But in talking with him at length, he very quickly either got hooked or needed, and I think there people with Parkinson's have to be kind of careful with that because everybody has an opinion of how much levodopa you need.
Yeah,
And so
yeah.
he was similar to myself before I had DBS. He was well over 1,400 milligrams of levodopa in a day,
So
which,
what's the effect for those who don't know? If that's just a number, talk about like what's average and why 1,400 is a high number and maybe what happens.
yeah. Well, from what I read and have been told, 600 to 800 milligrams per day is a tolerable level of levodopa into your body that will not create other problems or other iatrogenic effects. So you're not going to run into the dyskinesias, the herky-jerky movements, and some of those kind of things. That's one of the advantages, I believe, in having successful DBS surgery is that I was taking 1,600 milligrams a day to get through a day and shaking really poorly despite that much levodopa. And now I'm down to 600
Now, did you
milligrams.
ever experience the hallucinations or delusions?
No, I've never done that. And as a matter of fact, I know that that's like a very kind of a big buzzword right now
It's
with
happening
Ryan
again.
Reynolds. And I can appreciate why, because I think somewhere in the neighborhood of over 50% of the people experience them.
So let's talk about that. Let's cap and come back on our next episode because I think it opens up a big thing when we talk about the unknown parts of Parkinson's. And you mentioned Ryan Reynolds and whole Acadia thing. Good. Let's come back on that on the next episode. Good job, Greg. See you in a
Sure.
minute.